All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. All right, today we're gonna take a look at the alerts that we received today from our scanner. Remember, I have a bot running in the background, scanning the market in real time and possibly telling me what stock to watch for a possible trade. All right, so the first alerts out today is January the 21st, 2026. All right, so the first alert that we received today was on PAPL, as you can see right here. The alert came exactly at 4:01 in 17 seconds. The price was $2.71, 1.35 million share float, and the liquidity was really good on 2400 level. Um, but when we take a look at the screen at the chart, so the alert came right here. So there is no pullback. So there's no way for me to take that trade. Some people would say like there was a pullback right here, but it's still very extended, so it's too risky. I didn't consider that trade. So maybe in a different time frame or sub-minute time frame, like 10 seconds or something, maybe we could have found a proper micro pullback and see if we can trade that. But this is not the strategy that we are playing right now. All right, so the next one was KVUE. That one was a mistake by the scanner. I'm not sure if there's some type of bug that I need to address, but it alerted us this one, but obviously it doesn't meet our criteria. You could see there's no volume, there's no liquidity, there's nothing. So I'm just gonna ignore that one. For now, what I'm doing is I'm just filtering these fake alerts when they come. Um, Hopefully at some point I will if it's a bug at some point I will just figure it out and see how I can fix it. All right, the next alert was on BOXL. So let's type BOXL. The alert came at 4:05 and 36 4:05 36 seconds. The price was 217, very low float, and liquidity was good. So it was right here. That one, on the other hand, I think we have something that we could work here. We could work with here. So we received the alert right here uh, with a big topping tail right there. So then we put another candle of indecision, then a red candle, then we have a proper pullback with a bottoming tail, a hammer. This is what we like to see. But for that one specifically, what is the range? It has a low of $1.80, 180 between 180 to 196. That's a 16-cent spread. It's a little bit higher than my preference, but nonetheless, we could have taken that trade. I was sleeping when that happened, so I didn't take that trade over here. What I did instead, when I woke up, like around 7, I traded it right here. I believe, yeah, I traded it right here. So what happened? Why did I decide to trade it right here? Obviously, so after it made that high, pull back, go higher, pull back, consolidate, push higher, pull back, push higher right here. That was the high of the pre-market. Then it start to fade away. So lower here, lower, lower, lower. So where is it? Lower, lower, lower. Okay, good. Right here. So the reason why I decided to take that trade over here is because when it as it was going lower, right? It attempted to reverse over here and it couldn't. It attempted a double bottom right here to push higher and failed and went even lower. But as soon as it reached that level, you could see that some buyers stepped in um, on that candle right here. You could see a surge of volume on that candle. And also, if you look, you could tell like this level is trying to respect this level because remember it's not a perfect price point. It's always a region. So this region right here, you could say that this region could be an area of support and the low of this candle, let me see, the low of this candle is 195, and then that one is 191. So in the 195.91 area, so it found support right here. So that's why when it reached lower right here, it immediately went back up and went a little bit higher than that. So it, you know, it put a double top right here, then it pulled back just a little bit. That looks like a cup and handle formation, which is a very good candle. A cup and handle formation, or what do you call it, or an inverted head and shoulder. So shoulder, shoulder, boom, boom, lower, go back, lower. So an inverted head and shoulder right here, or a small cup or bottom cup. So when it did that, I decided to take a trade right here. I chased it a little bit. I wish I had played this a little bit better, but nonetheless, because the setup was really good, then it still played out in my favor. So I bought it right here. I bought it right here at $2.17, and then I'm holding it for $2. So a 17 cents risk. So I'm buying a 17 cents risk. Okay? I'm buying a risk for 17 cents. I'm buying a 17 cents risk. So that's the way we gonna be reasoning, because if we are not thinking about risk, obviously we're not trading, we are gambling. So we want to start doing that. So when I'm talking about taking a trade, I'm gonna say I am buying that 17 cents risk. So I bought that 17 cents risk right here. So obviously I'm gonna need a 2 to 1, maybe like around 40. So yeah, like 40 cents, a 17. That means I would need at least a 57. I would need a 57 at least. So what I did, I watched it. It pulled back over here, but it held, which is good. Then over here, it hit a high of $2.49, and I start seeing some hesitation with these stop and tails, and I said, okay, maybe it's not for me to sell. Big red candle right here, especially with the 8 o'clock surge of volume that usually comes in every day. Then when it pushed right here, 55 right here, then I took my profit at $2.55. 2 cents below, $2.55. I think I still made it. So 17 cents risk, 17 times 2 is 34. 34 plus 17, that's like 51. So yeah, I played it well. So I sold right here. It was a nice trade. Then we had ADTX. Immediately for ADTX, I don't really like the price. It's a little bit cheap. When it's cheap like that, below $2, they usually don't move quite fast, as fast as I would like. That can result that could result me being in a trade for a little bit too long, because you never know. The longer you stay in the trade, the more risk you're taking. So nonetheless, let's just take a look at it. So ADTX, the alert came at 408, 56 seconds. So 408, which is right here. As you can see right here, that's the alert. Immediately reverse with a big red candle on high volume. So yeah, that's definitely a no trade right here. So let's just ignore that one. Plus I already didn't like the price for it. Next we have ELPW at 427. So ELPW. Okay, the price is $3.02. Low float. Liquidity level is 1,200. uh, and the volume is 93,000. So let's take a look at it. It's ELPW 427, right here, 427 right here. Same scenario, 427, 428. Uh, it came, immediately reverse, no trade here either. Then the next alert is BNAI. BNAI. Boom. That one came at 7 o'clock, exactly at 7 o'clock, which is a good sign. That means it might have breaking news. It's a little bit on the higher price side for at $9. It's a little bit expensive at $9. The float is 4 million shares, and they have crazy liquidity, like 5,000 level, which is really, really, really good. So let's take a look at it at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock right here. Okay, we got a surge of volume. This is exactly what you want to see. You see that previous candle, 10,000 shares, 12,000 share, 12,000 share, 4,000, 5,000, and then 4,000. So basically, volume dried out right here. And then we have a surge of volume. That means buyers found interest over here on that level. Now, did it set up for us to trade? Obviously, I didn't trade it. Because I trade the other one. So when it came right here, it gives us a micro pullback. So it hits a high over here, and it gives us a micro pullback. That could have been a trade right here, but that could be very aggressive. I don't like micro pullback like that. I like a proper pullback. So it would have been better to let it go right here all the way to 10. Then on that candle right here, what is the range of that candle? From 906 to 965. That's like a 60 cents spread, which is which is crazy. But when you start trading stocks, 60 cents risk, not spread. When you start trading stocks at that price range, you already know you're gonna have to take more risk. But so 60 cents, that means you would have to go $1.20. So if you buy it at what, 965, you would have to sell it at 1085, and obviously it would have worked because that thing went all the way to $11, which is good. Also, we could have waited over here, see if we could have a trade right here, but we would have lost if we had taken a trade over here. So best trade is right here. Now, did it do anything after that? I'm not sure. Maybe at the open it did something, but it would be tricky to trade it at the open. Yeah, right here maybe. Anyway, we like to trade when we just received the alert at the beginning of the move, because right now we don't know what's going to happen, because obviously it's been trading a lot already. There could be some bag holding and everything, bag holding situation that could dump on you when you're trying to get in. So for me to check the trade over here was already a little bit risky, and let alone taking it over there. So that's a no. All right, anyway, so that was BNAI. So keep in mind that BNAI was alerted, but it was not the beginning of the move. It was higher in price, which is not interesting. BOXL, was BOXL the beginning of the move? No, BOXL was not the beginning of the move. It was in the middle because I missed. Well, the alert was at the beginning of the move, but I missed it, so I traded it after. But the alert was at the beginning of the move. So let me just reconfirm that. The alert was at what, 406? 406 right here. Yeah, that was the beginning of the move. Um, it looks like it started in after hours, so it is still not the beginning of the move though. Yeah, the move started in after hours right here. Um, that's why I like to, when I'm trading, when I receive an alert, I like to start with a 30 minutes time frame because I want to see what happened in the 30 minutes before the current 30 minutes that I'm looking at the stock. That way, if the move started 30 minutes before or the prior day, the move started like in after hours, then I know, there could be a possibility that some people would be holding shares, holding bags, and trying to dump on you when you're trying to buy the stocks. So maybe it was not a quality setup for BOXL. So BOXL was not a quality setup. It was not the beginning of the move, but it was early enough in the day, which is good. But it was not the beginning of the move. BNAI was definitely not the beginning of the move. It was a little bit higher in price, so that would have been a risky trade. Nonetheless, we could have taken some trade right there. LSTA at 7:30. LSTA. All right, so let's go to today's day. 7:30. LSTA was a buyout, so no trade there. SEGG, I don't like the price. The float is fine, liquidity is fine, um, but I don't like the price. Let's see. SEGG at 8 o'clock. All right, so right here. So that is the beginning of the move because this is not really the beginning of the move because it failed. There's no liquidity, there's no volume. Even here, it's not really much volume right here. Um, so where do we see something interesting is actually over, was it over here? Not even over here, maybe over there. Not even over there. Well, we see something interesting actually all the way over here where it pushes higher, it pulls back, give us a hammer. What is the low? $2.03. Did it hold? 203, 203. So it held that. It held that hammer. Push a red candle. What is the high of that red candle? 212. Did that break it? It didn't break it, so it broke it right here. So over here would be our buy signal right here, right here. Boom. And then you would put your stop loss over here. So that would be 203 to 212. Yeah, it's like a 9 cents. Perfect. All we need is a 20 cents. So if we buy it at 213, we could have sold it at 232. Where do we have 232? Would be on that candle right here. So it would have been a nice trade. All right. So that would be for SEGG. So it was alerted very early. So I wouldn't recommend to trade it over here because um, there's no setup. It's just how do I say that? It's just the scanner, the bot uh, identified that there's some weird volume going on over here, but at exactly what time? At 8 o'clock. But it's not surprising because usually at 8 o'clock there's a lot of volume in almost every single stocks. So we wouldn't know if this would be a good setup to take until it sets up over here. Over here is still a little weak. Right here is still a little weak. I wouldn't take it over here. There's no conviction, there's no volume. Over there, on the other hand, yes, we have some volume over here. So if you look at that, if you're looking at that candle, is 28,000, 13,000, 5,000, 4,000, 7,000, 1,000. So you see volume dried out over here and trying to pick back up over here. So that one is 28,000 and that one is 63,000. So more than twice the amount of volume. So definitely some interest with the buyers over here. The only thing that I don't like about it is those big volume red candle right there. But as long as it holds, then we could take a trade. Okay. But it's I'll say this is not my favorite setup, but if you're experienced, if you're willing to take on some risk, you could have taken that right here. The risk is low in terms of cents. It's only like 9-10 cents. That would have been a perfect entry. And then you could write it all the way to $2.35 right there. So that was on SEGG. This one is the other one of those one that I said earlier that it's probably like a bug. I don't know why I'm receiving those fake alerts, so I'll just skip it. Next one is IVF at 8 o'clock. So most of those I will not really be, staying on them because usually at 8 o'clock there's a lot of weird stuff going on. So let's see what happened at 8 o'clock over here. See, there's no setup. Search volume red candle. But 207, did it go higher? Not really. Oh, maybe. Maybe at the open it went to 227, but there's no setup. There's no setup obviously here. All right, so IVF, it's a no. MLEC, still 8 o'clock. Liquidity is good. Let's see. MLEC. I don't like trading at 8 o'clock unless it's something that looks really, 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 really good. So let's see what happened at 8 o'clock on that one. Look, the move already happened over here. So for some reason, we're receiving an alert at 8 o'clock right here because of the surge of volume, but there's absolutely no setup. No setup. It did go a little bit higher. Let's see. It did go a little bit higher. Where? Yeah, it did go a little bit higher here. But there was no setup. Even over here in that region right here is just chop, chop, chop. Not something that you would trade. EVTV, still 8 o'clock, not liking it. EVTV. EVTV, let's see what happened for EVTV. 8 o'clock, let's go to 8 o'clock right here. Same scenario, no setup, so no real trade, nothing. GCTK, might as well just start like skipping those alerts at 8 o'clock. But sometimes we have a surprise move. GCTK, no setup, nothing. POLA, probably same scenario. 8 o'clock, let's go to 8 o'clock. Oh, went too fast here. All right, 8 o'clock right here, no setup, but it did go higher. Not really. No setup. SHPH, price is not bad, 1 million share float. Let's see. And I recognize the name because this stock's been trending really good every day. So every day it makes it's been trending in the past couple of days. So no setup, but it did go higher. Yeah, it did go higher, but there's no real setup on it. That was SHPH. Now, ROLR, this one is another one that has been making moves in the past couple of days. Let's see what it did actually. So the time is still 8 o'clock, so not really right here. No, I'm not really hopeful with that. So 8 o'clock, let's see what happened at 8 o'clock. Same thing, crazy volume, but no real setup. All right, now we're starting to get to the real thing. AQMS. So 801 AQMS. Price a little bit high. Float is good. Liquidity is good. Volume is good. 801 right here. There you go. Push is higher. Candle of indecision right here. Chop, chop, bunch of chop. It didn't really set up. So some people would say it gives us a double bottom right here, but it didn't. Like it went lower, so I don't like it. So when it reclaimed the level right here, then it did again. So maybe here, somebody could have taken a trade right here, but there's no real setup. Like it would have felt like random. So we don't want to trade like that. We want something that is 100% clear. So AQMS, no. IMTE, I don't like the price. Liquidity is amazing, but I don't like the price. 815. Let's take a look at it. IMTE. Boom. 815. Oh. Right here. Right here. No real setup over here, so nothing. And oh, hold on, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at the wrong time. Hold on, maybe I talked too fast. That was the open. So I had to look at what? 815, sorry. So it's right here. So yeah, no setup right here on that area. No setup at all. PAVM, I believe this was the stock for today. Let's take a look at it. So we received the alert at exactly 8:17 and 33 seconds. The float is under 1 million, like half of a million, which is insane. The liquidity, aka demand, is really high. And we have good volume. Good relative volume as well. Let's take a look at it and see how it played out. PAVM. 817 right here. You see, this is how you want to, this is the type of alert that you want to trade. The alert candle is the biggest volume when you look left. So all this area right here was like insignificant. And it was a previous day. So the first candle right here came at 746. And look at it, 169 shares. And that one is what? 90 shares. 110, 216, 4, 3,000. Okay, we have a little surge right here. 3,000, 2,000, 5,000. So we have a little surge right here. 2,000, 5,000, 4,000, 3,000, 7,000, 5,000. I know it's annoying what I'm doing, but I want to show you the beauty of a beautiful setup. 4, 2, 3,000, 2,000, 3,000, 700, 800, 3,000, 500, 2,000, and 90,000. Yes. What time? Let's take a look closer. 90,000. So this is the biggest volume candle. Biggest volume candle, highest volume candle. So that candle stands out right there. What time? 8:17. What time the alert came? 8:17, 33 seconds. So boom. The only issue is it went crazy fast. Wow. I'm pretty sure if we look at it in a like 10-second chart, we would be able to play it. But on a 1 minute chart, there is no proper pullback. That thing went straight up to $15. From 7 to $15. Like shoot 100%. I don't even know what was the news on that one. All right, let's see the pullbacks. You got a pullback right here. You got pullback right here. You got pullback. Okay, you see this, and then you got a big volume right here. Let's see. There you go. You see that? And it went higher. It went higher. So if you were to take that trade, obviously it's extremely risky. At 12.50, you would have been able to sell at $15. Like 3 cents. I mean $3 a share. Then what happened after that? It pulls back again, but held. You see how it curls right here? Held, and then it tried to break. Actually, it broke a little bit, but look at this tiny candle right here. What is the range? 1275 to 1312. For that price range, this is a tiny. For that type of leg, that type of move, this is a very tiny candle. Look at it, and look at these giants. So that could be an indication that selling is drying out. What happened after that? Boom. You see that? Selling is drying out. It put a bottom. What is the high? 1275 to 1312. That's 25 cents, 35, 37 cents. 37 cents, you would need like $1 share. 37 cents. Let's round it up to 40 cents. You're risking 40 cents on a $13 stock. 13, I mean, what am I talking about? Like 30.75, so that's 25, 35, 37, 40 cents. You're risking 40 cents. How much would you be able to make? So, right here. And that thing went beautifully to $19. Oh my God. That would have been a beautiful trade right here. See, these are the things that you need to look for. Bottom candle, like hammers. These lows, those hammers right here. There's no hammer. There's no real hammer here. There was a little hammer here, but it never broke, so it doesn't really matter. This one is not really a hammer, but because it reclaimed the level so quick, it would be considered like a green hammer if you combine the two candles. Yeah, because it immediately reclaimed the level. That's what a hammer is. Like it puts a low and immediately go back up. That's what you want to see. That means buyers are stepping in. That would have been a beautiful trade right here, and then we could have sold at $19. But it wasn't done. Look what he did after that. We got a big long hammer, but I don't like that one because it has topping tails as well, so I don't like it. So wait for another one that is properly formed. Here, for example, this is a beautiful hammer right here at 1709. And then you got this one right here at the same level. You have this one and you have this one. So it's like a double bottom. What did it do after that? And remember, it already gives you signs that we have some support right here. So selling is drying out. Selling is drying out. You see? 17,000, 22,000. What did he do after that? Boom. At the open anyway. That thing went all the way to $24. Amazing. 24. Oof. Look at that. Look at this move right here. Push, pull back. Push, pull back. Double tap, candle. Double tap, cup, and handle. breakout, push up, pull back, push up, pull back, squeeze, pull back, squeeze, pull back, squeeze, pull back, squeeze, pull back. See, the A quality setup guys are not hard to trade most of the time, which is why we call them A quality setup. Look at this: higher high, higher low, higher highs, higher lows, right here. Stair stepping. Oop. First step, 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 step. Just beautiful, man. I could watch this all day. All right, so enough for PAVM. And it was at the beginning of the move that we received the alert. So that would have been the alert for today. The first real alert for the day. That would have been this one. All right, so let's check Vero VERO. What time? 8:18. VERO 8:18. See that? That's exactly what you don't want to see. Big red candle. So we're not interested in this. No. I mean, it went. Oh no. 8:18. What's going on here? Why is it? Why is it giving me? Why is it on the chart that it's saying $2 and it's saying that $5 of the for the alert? This is crazy. It's probably one of these things that I have a bug, but anyway, something weird is going on here. And but obviously we're not gonna trade something like that. Look at this nastiness. There's no way. There's no way we're gonna be able to. There's no way we would choose to trade that. Only if you're crazy. All right. So Vero is no. FEED 850. FEED at 850. Right here. No real setup. Right here. No. Where is it? See? You can't even see the candle, the alert candle. That's because it's not a real setup. I mean, it went. What? It's just crazy. Yeah, it FEED. The pricing of the price of the alert doesn't match what we have on the chart. So obviously, when you see that, you already know something is wrong. So I don't know if it's a bug, or sometimes it could be because we have dark pools in the market, and I believe some of these trades still goes through the tape. Since my scanner is centered around is working around the tape, so maybe it found something at $1.68, some kind of trade that was going on, and then trying to consider that price range to give you an alert. But obviously we don't have that over here, so that's a no-go. This one I don't even know what is that. YCY.U. Whenever you see a dot, we're not interested in. It's a fake. It's a fake. It's a fake alert right there. Dog Z. DEGZ. Too expensive. At 1042. All right, let's see what happened at 1042. Dog Z 1042 right here. Right here. So made a move, pull back, and that's the breakout right here. I mean, you could in theory trade it for a quick scalp, but you know, how much would you be able to make on that? The real volume is already happening, so you technically buying the second. Yeah, it's just crazy. I wouldn't trade that. But I mean, obviously, it's very easy to say in hindsight. because you already see what happened. But I'm just saying. MAMRAM 22 higher float, not really interesting. Liquidity is not bad, 305. So I wouldn't really trade something like that. MRAM 305 right here. Nothing serious happened. It went higher in after hours, but who's gonna wait in after hours? Like 60. If you buy this at $16, yeah, in theory. And then the last one, which is VEEE, which is a complete, which is that was the after hours trade for today, and it was a fake out. 428. So what happened at 428 is this area right here. That thing went straight up and give it all back. We couldn't have traded that, but obviously some people would do. There's no way we could have traded that. So some people would say this could be a pullback, but it's too extended. It's only one candle pullback, so why would you even take a trade all the way up there at the top? That's the top right here. There's no way. Never take a trade at the top. Always leave the top to evaluate your risk and reward. Yep. So basically that's it for today. So the best alert for today was, without a doubt, PAVM. That thing went all the way to $28, and it was the beginning of the move. It was clean. There was a lot of opportunity to make money on that one. The price was a little bit higher. The float was amazing, like 500,000 float. Liquidity is like 1,800, which is really good, and volume was great. So that was good. The other trade that was good, I must say, was which one? Was it BNAI? So PAPL, we couldn't trade it because it happened too fast. BOXL, yes, we could have traded that. So BOXL, but it was not the beginning of the move though. It was not the beginning of the move. And I was sleeping when that happened. So the float was great, but we couldn't have traded that. So right here. Oh, actually, yeah. Well, it was not really the beginning of the move, but it looks like it was the beginning of the move. That's because the move started in after hours right here. So you could technically say it was the beginning of the move, but for the day, but it's not the best setup. So, but in theory, you could have taken that. That could have been a good trade. Maybe this is why we have all these stopping tails right here, because maybe some people already bought right here, and they were ready to sell the bags. ADTX, I don't remember. I don't think it was a good setup. Yeah, it was not a good setup. ELPW was not good. BNAI, it was not bad. BNAI, 7 o'clock right here. Yeah, so the alert, it was already like on his second leg when we received the alert. So it has a nice trade on it, but it was not a quality setup. So BNAI has a nice trade, but it's not a quality setup, it's a B quality setup. BOXL, nice trade, but B quality setup. LSTA, I don't remember what happened in LSTA. Let's check that one again. I have to start taking notes. So yeah, this is probably one of these. LSTA was a buyout. Okay, I remember. SEGG. SEGG. Uh, chop. What time? 8 o'clock. So remember, everything at 8 o'clock, it was just unsure. Like there's no real setup on them, except the four SEGG. If you put it on your watch list when you receive the alert, then you could wait for it to start breaking away, and then you could say that uh, it was a good setup right here. So not really a A quality setup, but it was not the backside of the move. So we received the move right here. Some weird trading activities right here. The scanner, the bot detected it and gave us the alert, and obviously it went higher. So you could say it was a good alert, but you would have to wait over here, because if you buy it over here, you have no idea what's going to happen. It's just a bunch of, look at this volume though. Jesus Christ, 373,000. Yeah, it's like somebody knew that thing was gonna go higher. Anyway, okay. So, but if you wait for this setup right here, so yeah, I would agree that this is a trade that you would be able to take right here. The only thing is those red candles on high volume are a little bit scary, but the range for the risk is really it's really good. So in theory, you could have taken that trade and you would have made money, no problem. So SEGG, B quality setup, B plus, B plus, because it's not bad at all. MFIC, fake, IVF, chop, MLEC. I don't really remember what happened on these. Uh, yeah, so there was no, you know what? IVF, I'm pretty sure there was nothing there. MLEC, did we have anything on MLEC? So good trades we have. B quality we have. Where? BOXL, the third one. No, no. The fifth one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3. The third one, BOXL, B quality, good trade. BNAI, good trade. SEGG, very good trade, but you would have to wait for the setup to show itself. IVF, I know there was nothing there. Let's check MLEC. Did we have something in MLEC at 8 o'clock? Nope. This is the first leg of the move, and this is just chop. All right, MLEC, nothing. EVTV, I believe it was nothing. All right, next time I'm gonna start taking notes and already know what stock I'm gonna be covering, because otherwise the video is gonna be too long. So EVTV, chop was 8 o'clock. Yep, chop. GCTK, chop. I'm curious about GCTK though. How it didn't do anything? Like the volume is not bad. The float is good, but it's 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock is not the time. Look at this. Yeah. Pola, POLA. I don't think anything happened there. Yeah, technically everything at 8 o'clock didn't do nothing except for SEGG. Yeah, no setup here. SHPH, BH. I'll just delete those parts of the video after. 8 o'clock, nothing. OLR. Yeah, I don't think it did anything. 8 o'clock too. AQMS did nothing. Let's confirm. Yeah, nothing. Yep, just chop. IMTE definitely didn't do anything, and then PAVM. So we have BOXL that was a good trade. Then we have BNAI, it was a good trade. Then we have SEGG, it was not bad, it was really good actually. Then we have the Black Swan, PAVM. PAVM, and then after that, everything else is just garbage. So we have one A quality, and you have one B quality, two B quality, and three B quality. All right, so I think that's it for today. So the stock that did amazing today are BOXL, BNAI, SEGG, and the amazing PAVM. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you up on the next one.